Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel Tando, and this is Blooming. So in today's episode, as you can tell, we are going to be talking about vision boards, except I don't really have one. Plot twist. Okay, let me explain. I don't have a vision board because I procrastinate, and I have been procrastinating and I didn't get it done. And then actually I did go to a stationery shop, but then I realized that I'm actually not inspired to create one because I don't even know how I want to make one. But anyways, I had jotted down everything that I wanted to be in my vision board, similar to how I jotted it down in my journal last year. So I thought it's fine. I'm going to share with you guys some of my dreams and goals and visions for this year, and just setting the intention for what I want to achieve for this year. Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about what I want to do YouTube wise this year. So when it comes to my goals for YouTube, last year they were based heavily on numbers and growing numbers wise, right? I was like, I want to get monetized, I want to get a couple of thousand subscribers by the end of the year. And obviously the year came to an end and that did not happen. I think this year I want to focus more on finding my voice and impact over numbers. So basically by finding my voice, I mean just working on the craft that is expressing my thoughts through video, if that makes sense. So just practicing how to do this more and more, and just getting better and better at executing the ideas and at sharing my thoughts with you guys in an even more effective way. Yeah, that's what I mean by finding my voice, basically just harnessing or honing in on the craft. And then number two, impact over numbers. Now this one I've actually seen with myself so many times with my YouTube videos. I have a lot of videos that don't perform as well as other videos, but the engagement is just amazing and through the roof. Those videos are usually videos where I'm vulnerable, I'm opening up, I am being honest with my truth, and those videos impact people. They speak to people because usually I'm articulating what a person is already feeling on the inside. And like I said on my very first video, the whole point of this YouTube channel is to create a safe community, so that as we are all trying to figure out this whole life thing in our 20s, you don't feel alone. So anyways, impact over numbers. So don't focus so much on how far my YouTube channel is growing and how many numbers I have, but focus a lot more on having impact on the few people that do listen to my YouTube channel, and the numbers will follow when the numbers follow. Honestly, I think the biggest thing is that I don't have much control over my numbers and my subscribers. I do have control over the quality of the videos that I release, and I do have control over, like I said, honing in on finding my voice. So I'm going to focus on that this year. So that's basically in a nutshell what I want to do YouTube wise. Secondly, what I want for myself this year is experience and exposure. So the first way that this will look is through mentorship. I would love to find people in different spaces doing different things that I feel like align with myself, and kind of just have them as my mentors to guide me in this self-finding journey that I'm trying to go to, basically finding my place in the world and society at large. And this excitingly enough, I've met someone that I feel like I would really love to have as a mentor, and she kind of is already a mentor for me. I work with her occasionally, and she also just introduces me to these amazing spaces, which is the whole reason why I even came to Johannesburg in the first place. And another thing is that I want to try out doing different things. I don't want to necessarily box myself yet. If I feel like it aligns with the part of myself that I have discovered, then I want to try it. I want to put myself in different spaces and see how I'm able to fit, to adapt, and to just function in that space. I'm not exactly sure what different spaces I'm going to put myself in just yet, but the year is still just beginning and there are so many opportunities that are yet to present themselves. It's just a matter of remaining and staying open, even things like volunteering, to do whatever it is. But don't you worry guys, I will definitely vlog certain experiences, cool experiences that I get to have or whatever it is, so you will be kept in the loop. And thirdly, that also includes upskilling. So basically I want to learn more, stretch my intellect, and also just acquire skills. So part of that is already because I am studying this year. I'm doing psychology and stats, and I'm just so excited to be formally studying psychology because it has been the apple of my eye for so long, and I felt like I couldn't, and the best that I could do is read books that are out there. But now I'm actually in school for psychology, which is just amazing. But on top of that, it's things like maybe learning some kind of a programming language or coding, or even in the YouTube space, it could be pushing myself more in terms of learning how to create better videos, better audio quality, better lighting, and what have we. So I'm just challenging myself to learn more, to push myself intellectually in terms of just learn how to do more things, basically, is what I mean. That's part of my experience and exposure. Thirdly, it's mental health and adding more movement in my life. So when it comes to mental health, to be quite honest, I'm not as rigid as I was last year in terms of like how to keep my head space in the right place. Last year I was doing everything that people are doing. I was journaling, meditating, a bit of yoga, like reading, like anything that you can imagine. I was doing that, and it was actually really great and amazing. But I'm just realizing that like I don't think I want that rigid structure of every morning I have to do all those things. I think this year I definitely want to take it a bit slow and actually really find what really works for me. One of the things that I discovered last year that really do work for me, for instance, is waking up early. Waking up early, I'm talking, doesn't need to be 5, like 6, where it's still very chilled and quiet, and where you can still hear the birds chirping. For some reason, that time of the morning and the stillness of that time of the morning allows me to hear myself without the noise of the world, and kind of just starts me on a good start. But more than the stillness part of it, also just physically, I feel groggy and lethargic and just tired if I oversleep. So yeah, it's things like those. I don't know yet. I'm still on a journey to discover. Then when it comes to eating healthy, I've discovered that I'm very inconsistent with my eating. I can go for like a week of eating very healthy and go for 2 weeks of just eating terribly. So I think this year, I actually heard this from a dietitian online who said that we need to focus more on adding rather than subtracting. A lot of the times we think about dieting as eliminating certain things from our diet, eliminating sugar and salty foods and what have we. But then this dietitian was like, how about you actually don't deprive yourself from eating what you want to eat, but you add onto it, you add other things. So an example of that has to be this meal that I had, where it was pizza, but it was Food Lovers pizza that I made myself in the oven, and it was really delicious. It tasted like pizza, but then I had vegetables to go with it. So I'm adding on top of it. But more than that, if I'm going to do this whole adding thing, it means that I'm going to have to learn a bit more about food types and why we need all those different food types, and learn about superfoods. That means just like foods that have way more nutrients than regular foods, and then so that my adding becomes even more valuable. I actually saw this on Sarah's Day. If you watch Sarah's Day, shout out to you on Sarah's Day. And Sarah's Day is very passionate about healthy eating, and one thing that I really loved about watching her and her channel is how well she knows her food. Like, she's not just saying have your fruits and veggies, but she talks about why this fruit is great for you, why this vegetable is great for you, and why you have to add these certain foods to like your daily diet and all of that. And I feel like that's just going to make the journey a lot more meaningful for me if I understand the reason why, if that makes sense. And then lastly, it's mindful eating. So mindful eating, I first heard about it, I think it was on Super Soul Sunday, obviously, with Mum O. Mindful eating is just eat as much as you actually want to eat. So for instance, a packet of chips. It's very easy for me to finish a packet of Lay's chips at one go, for instance, right? But mindful eating just basically means that instead of it means that savor each chip that you have. And if you're craving Lay's, have Lay's, but have only as much as you want. As soon as you feel satisfied, like that craving has been satisfied, you stop. But what usually happens is that when we're eating, we're also watching TV, or we're also having conversation, or we are distracted scrolling through Instagram or whatever. And that's how we end up overeating. And then you realize that, oh my God, I ate way more than I needed. So basically mindful eating is that, right? It's when it comes to portion control, you don't forcefully control your portion, but rather you let how much you actually want to have be what controls you, and don't eat any more than that. So there's also a bit of that I'm trying to learn as well. It's really hard because who doesn't want to eat while watching The Big Bang Theory? I mean, that's always me. But I really think eating better is really something that I want to do, and I want to invest time and energy in, just because, first of all, I have a little bit of chronic constipation. So if I don't eat well, I immediately feel that, girl, you're not eating well, because my bowel movement just does weird things. And then, or rather, does not do the things it's supposed to do. And then also just, I want to feel good. Like, I want to feel good and energized, and I want to do things that will make me feel good and energized. And I just truly believe that taking the time to just maximize your health as a person bleeds into every other area of your life. And then more movement. This one as well, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna achieve this one either, but it's up there. It's one of the goals that I want, because I've tried doing the whole gym membership thing. I've tried home workouts, and I failed at being consistent with all of them. I'm not sure what it is that I'm lacking. Maybe it's that I haven't created enough I haven't created effective systems for myself to keep myself going, and I'm still gonna figure it out, but it's definitely right there. I want to move more. I've been living such a stagnant lifestyle, especially since the pandemic hit and I stopped going to school because, we weren't attending on campus anymore. After that, like, movement just completely stopped in my life, and I hate the way it feels. My body just feels heavier because I'm just less fit. And yeah, I want to incorporate a lot more of movement in my life. Whether that means walks, that means playing a bit of sports, whatever that looks like, I want to do that. And then lastly, systems versus goals. So basically, there's this book that I recently read that talks about systems versus goals. And this year I want to focus a lot more on creating systems. Interestingly, I saw this reel on Instagram that spoke about, this person basically said that systems are greater than discipline, which was a huge aha moment for me, because I've for the longest time just felt like, wow, I really suck at this whole discipline thing, and I'm not great at discipline, and I can't will myself to do what I say I want to do. Yaddy yaddy whoop de why, you know how the dance goes. But then I think I liked this because for some reason it made me focus or shift my focus from the lack of discipline and rather to systems that I can put in place to ensure that I am most likely to go through with what I want to do. A very popular system is meal prepping, because on Sunday you might be very excited that this is the week that we're going to eat healthy, we're going to have vegetables, we're going to and use that energy to then food prep. Because if you already have your vegetables already steamed, or your fruit is already cut neatly for you and all you have to do is eat, it decreases the chances of you being tempted to get that McDonald's instead of cooking up your supper. So basically things like those, not just that though, like everything that I want to achieve, and whatever routine I want to get into, whatever discipline I want to master, do it via setting up systems that set me up for success, right? I think that's what the reel did for me, and that's also what I want to focus on this year. But then basically that wraps up all 5 of what I wanted to talk about in this video with you guys. I would love to hear a little bit about what you have set up for yourself for this year. What do you want to achieve? What kind of mindset shifts are you making this year to just ensure that you do better, become the best you? Do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, just leave a comment down below so that we can interact. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. This is Sinothando with Blooming. Don't forget to subscribe. Ciao.